Hey guys, welcome to a brand new today's video. And in this new today's video, it's going to be a brand new video, part of my video series on breaking up the two-party duopoly. And in this new video series, this is going to be talking about another candidate running in the upcoming 2026 June primary election in California. And this candidate's name is Meghann Adams, and she's running to be the next California controller in 2026. But in order for her to be the next controller, she has to make the June 2nd primary. And this is all because California has a unique primary system. California's unique primary system is a top two jungle primary, where all the candidates and all the voters all participate in the same primary election. And the top two vote getters, regardless of party, advance to the general election. And this is why, if you have been paying attention on the news, why there is the potential where California voters could actually decide between two Republicans in the upcoming California gubernatorial race, all because the Democrats are splitting the vote, are taking votes away from each other, which is preventing them from getting into the top two, which is why there's the potential that Chad Bianco and Steve Hilton could be facing off with each other in the November 3rd California gubernatorial general election. So if you want to get your candidates in the top two, get involved with their campaign, start now, and get their names out there. And work your hardest to make sure your chosen candidates are in the top two. Even though if you've been watching my episode in one of my episodes in Parliamentary California, which was episode 4, part 1 of Parliamentary California, you may already know that I'm completely against the top two. But until we can propose legislation or get a ballot initiative going to repeal the top two primary system, we have to work within the system to get our candidates into the top two. So if you want to get your candidates into the top two, get involved with the campaign and work your hardest and work your ass off to actually get involved. To get involved in their campaigns, to spread the word about them, to make sure that they are in the top two, to ensure that they are in the top two. So, and the same is true for the California controller election. If you want to make sure Meghann Adams is in the California controller election between Democratic candidate Malia Cohen, get involved in their campaign right now, because we can all be agents of change that can truly reimagine California into a golden state for all Californians for generations to come. So here's the video on Meghann Adams' campaign for controller. Meghann 2026 for state controller. California for the people, not the billionaires. So let's go to her page on about her as a person. Meet Meghann. Meghann Adams is a seasoned organizer and union leader in the Bay Area whose commitments to the anti-war movement, the struggle for women's liberation, and dignified working conditions for her fellow workers guide her vision for California's fiscal and political responsibilities. Meghann has a 20-year history of organizing in the anti-war movement with the Answer Coalition, and has written about the need for a new political system that prioritizes people over profit. Through her contributions to the Breaking the Chains magazine, serving as the president of Smart 1741, representing San Francisco and San Mateo school bus driver and staff, Meghann tirelessly organizes and advocates for the workers who drive Bay Area students to school every day. a Bay Area locale with a steadfast commitment to serving working people. Meghann brings a necessary perspective to California's state budget of making the money work for the people and the planet, not for the billionaires. Born to a working family in a rural area, Meghann learned from a young age the crises affecting the under-resourced communities. She saw the ways in which hard-working people were systematically kept in cycles of poverty, forced to struggle with addiction, hunger, lack of health care, and made to work multiple jobs to earn a living wage. While earning her bachelor's degree in sociology at Beloit College in Wisconsin, Meghann witnessed the Islamophobia and manipulation of public interest to justify the war in Iraq. She became an anti-war activist and organizer with the Answer Coalition to draw attention to the ways in which U.S. taxpayer dollars were funneled out of impacted communities at home and invested in weapons in wars abroad. Now, more than 20 years later, her progressive campaign as state controller seeks to transform the carceral budget of California to fund people's needs. As president of her union, Meghann serves as a fiduciary of Smart 1741. Through nearly a decade of managing union finances, she has developed a sharp skill set for fiscal responsibility, accountability, and transparency to members. As leaders of Smart 1741, Meghann organized her fellow workers in car caravans during the COVID-19 pandemic to drive through the working class communities they serve, protesting the budget crackdown that left drivers without health care in the middle of an international medical crisis. She recognizes universal health care as a human right and advocates that California provides health care for its citizens so that workers in her union and across the state are not at the whim of their employers for accessing necessary medical care. Since moving to the Bay Area in 2007, Meghann has contributed to several local struggles through her work with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. She served as a treasurer for the Gloria La-Rivia 2016 presidential campaign and has been a part of Bay Area actions for racial justice since the murder of Oscar Grant in 2009. During the pandemic, she was a fierce organizer of the Cancel the Rents campaign, which urged the government to provide immediate relief for people who had been laid off and could not afford their housing. In recent years, while serving as the trustee of the Bay Area Liberation Center, Meghann has continued her work as an anti-war organizer, contributing to block the boat at Oakland port actions in continuous protest to end the genocide in Gaza. As a working class fighter, Meghann sees the struggle of the working class as inherently connected, tying back to the systematic protection of the interests of the wealthy elite at the expense of working people and the environment. An officer of the Peace and Freedom Party, Meghann is determined to make the people's needs the priority of California's state budget and address the climate crisis with urgency. California is the fourth largest economy in the world. As state profits are used to line the pockets of the wealthy, Meghan's decades of experience in speaking out against the war machine and her resolute dedication to working people make her the clear choice for voters who want a change to business as usual to end poverty in California. And this sums up her campaign, Meghann Adams' campaign for state controller in 2026. Her campaign is all about people, not the billionaires. And she has proven this because she has been a school bus driver, community organizer, and union leader with nearly a decade of experience in the fiscal management of her union. As controller, Meghann will act in the interest of working class people, not the billionaires. It's time to put a worker in the driver's seat. Vote Socialist, California. Vote for Meghann Adams in 2026 to be California's next state controller. So, let's talk about some of her ideas and programs of how she will make every public dollar work for the people, not the billionaires. Because she believes workers create the wealth. We should decide how that wealth is spent. Address the affordability crisis. Meghann knows that families in California are being priced out by rising rents and utility bills, while workers are struggling to get by. Tech giants like Nvidia and Apple are ranking in record profits. It doesn't have to be this way. California's $4.1 trillion economy could be used to meet the needs of everyone living in the state. As controller, Meghann will expose the roots of the affordability crisis and pressure decision makers to act. Meghann will launch a statewide housing affordability audit. The audit will identify bulk buyers and corporate landlords, including asset managers and REITs, show where billion-dollar corporations have brought up homes in bulk and link those purchases to rent hikes and vacancies by zip code. Meghann will also conduct a California public utility feasibility study that compares private monopolies like PG&E, SDG&E, and Southern California Edison to nonprofit and public utility providers in California, like the Sacramento Municipal Utility District. The study will produce a real cost and reliability analysis and an implementation roadmap for establishing a California statewide public utility to replace private monopolies, reduce bills, improve service, and end the wildfire crisis. As a California school bus driver, Meghann knows how the affordability crisis impacts working families. As the controller of California, she will make sure that the cost of housing, utilities, education, and healthcare are brought under control. Crackdown on corruption. Billionaires own the government in California. Democrats and Republicans alike collect millions of dollars in campaign donations each year, and in exchange, they hand out billions of dollars in public contracts and tax breaks back to those same donors who put them in office. As California controller, Meghann will be a watchdog for the people and shine a spotlight on corruption across the state. Meghann will audit every corporate tax incentive in California. Using city and county disclosure reports, she will publish exactly who got what and how much it cost and what was delivered. The report will show all of the missed promises and what public money should be taken back from private hands. It will also name the biggest recipients and tally what these tax giveaways cost to each of our communities. As controller, Meghann will also sit on the Board of Equalization, where she will expose corporate fraud in the housing market. The Board of Equalization oversees property taxes. Big corporations use shell companies to hide the extent of their property ownership, securing lower tax rates for the wealthy owners. Communities lose millions in the cost to their public services like schools and infrastructure, and working class homeowners have to make up the difference. On the Board of Equalization, Meghann will target the underassessment of large corporate property, stop the shell company games, and close the tax loopholes so communities get what they're owed. Meghann will protect every public dollar and make sure that our tax money serves the people and not the billionaires. Medi-Cal for all. Healthcare in California is unaffordable. Millionaires of working class families across our state are skipping doctor's appointments because of the cost. Meghann believes that everyone in California should have the right to free, high-quality healthcare regardless of immigration status. As controller, Meghann will fight to put a clear path to universal healthcare on the table. Meghann will use the controller's office to lead a universal healthcare financing study. The study will compare what Californians already spend on healthcare across Medi-Cal, covered California subsidies, public employment benefits, county safety nets, and household premiums to a universal single-payer Medi-Cal for all system. It will include a household bill calculator so families can see their savings when premiums and copays are eliminated. Meghann will also use her seat on the California Franchise Tax Board to tighten enforcement so private insurance companies and drug companies pay what they owe. Every dollar spent on healthcare should go to services, not corporate profits. Expand our public services. Meghann knows firsthand that funding for schools, clinics, and housing is getting slashed while trillions of dollars of profits are flowing into billionaires' pockets in California. The Trump administration has proposed cutting the Department of Housing and Urban Development by 44% and putting the burden of rental assistance on states, which will drive thousands more into homelessness. Trump has also withheld over $4 billion for K-12 programs nationwide as the 2025 through 26 school years begin. Meanwhile, California is spending more and more of our tax dollars on militarizing the police, while funding for our social services evaporates year after year. Guarantees housing for all. California has a housing crisis. In the last decade, the price of rent has increased by 79%, and the cost to buy a home has risen 88%. Soaring costs have driven over 180,000 Californians into homelessness. Meghann is fighting to make sure that everyone in California has access to high-quality, affordable housing. Wealthy investors in California are using LLCs and bulk purchases to corner the housing market and driving up the cost of buying a home and the price of rent. As controller, Meghann will prioritize affordable, nonprofit, or public ownership of housing by promoting anti-speculation safeguards and permanent affordability on the Tax Credit Allocation Committee and the Debt Limit Allocation Committee. She will make sure that for every tax credit or grant given out, the Comptroller's Office publishes the cost per home and delivery timelines. Fully fund our schools. Every student deserves the right to a quality education. Despite having the largest economy in the nation, California ranks 43rd out of 50 in per capita spending, with only 3% of our gross state product allocated to education. As controller, Meghann will work to double our education budget so that every child has the opportunity to succeed. The California Comptroller serves as the chair of the California Franchise Tax Board. As chair, Meghann will tighten enforcement on large corporations and high income tax avoidance, which drain both the California General Fund and local school funding. Meghann will also use the Comptroller's Office to support and expand Proposition 47, the Safe Neighborhoods and Schools Act. Prop 47 reduces state incarceration rates from nonviolent misdemeanors and directs the savings to treatment and crime diversions, K-12 truancy and dropout prevention, and victim services. Meghann will publish an annual Prop 47 savings and outcomes report that shows county by county how much the state saved and how much was transferred, and what results it was able to produce in classrooms, clinics, and diversion programs. Challenge the extreme excesses in police spending at state and local levels. Every year, local police departments in California spend millions of tax dollars on advanced military equipment. Police departments are increasingly acting more like foreign armies and treating our communities like an occupied population. The strategy exacerbates social problems like poverty and inequality and drains funds from the social programs that help address the root causes of crime. As controller, Meghann will develop a police department militarization database to track spending on military equipment and irresponsible spending on overtime per department. Californians will see which vendors and equipment are funded with our tax dollars. She will recommend grant conditions that prohibit spending on military gear in collaboration with ICE and require investments in proven safety strategies like crisis response, youth programs, and housing. Meghann will put our public money where it belongs, in homes and classrooms, not in corporate giveaways to private investment firms and weapon manufacturers. Invest in California. Divest from foreign wars. As controller, Meghann will fight to protect our pensions in our communities. Genocide is not only morally unacceptable, it is also a bad investment. The California State Controller sits on the boards of CalPERS and CalSTRS, two pension funds worth over $800 billion. Right now, that money is being sent out of California. Instead of investing those funds into local California jobs and services, our pensions are being used to fuel the ongoing genocide in Gaza. We don't need to invest in militarized wars to secure our retirement. Since 2023, the State of Israel has killed more than 65,000 people in the Gaza Strip, including 28,000 women and 17,900 children. Every hospital in Gaza has been bombed. The UN reports famine and starvation conditions as international food aid is being blocked by Israel. In September 2025, the UN Commission found that Israel is committing a genocide of the Palestinian people in Gaza. The money that Californians hold in our state pensions accounts is being used to fund that genocide. CalPERS holds nearly $400 million in Lockheed Martins, whose missiles, fighter jets, and precision-guided bombs are being used to level apartment buildings, schools, and hospitals in Gaza. CalSTRS has significant holdings in Elbit Systems and Caterpillar, whose products are being used to bomb civilians and bulldoze neighborhoods in Gaza. As controller, Meghann will introduce a California reinvestment plan for CalPERS and CalSTRS to divest our holdings in companies participating in war crimes and reinvest it into California's economy. Broad market analysis shows that investment in controversial weapon manufacturers provide no financial benefits over index performance, and they introduce significant legal and reputational risk for investors. Meghann will publish a fiduciary analysis that shows returns, risk, and cost of a divestment plan versus the status quo. She will redirect the capital into social housing, community energy and storage, school modernizations, water and wildlife resilience, and transit. Meghann will protect retirees and invest our money in homes, jobs, and services here in California. We can and must secure our retirement without investing in genocide. Protect our environment. Protect our environment. Climate change is here, and working people are suffering its effects the hardest. In the Bayview neighborhood of San Francisco, a low-income, largely black community, families live next to toxic shipyards, cleanup sites, children breathe polluted air, and residents suffer worse health outcomes than those in the rest of the city. Wildlife, exacerbated by extreme droughts, have torn through California, killing hundreds and displacing hundreds of thousands, while communities pay polluters' profits. California is failing to meet its climate goals. Our government has promised 100% clean energy by 2045. However, we are not even on track to reach 1/4 of our 2030 clean energy target. Without faster development of renewable energy, the effects of climate change will only become more pronounced. As controller, Meghann will conduct a climate audit and publish an energy transition report that puts a concrete path to net zero carbon emissions on the table. The audit will inventory every refinery, gas plant, pipeline, and oil well, set closure timelines and cleanup costs, and map the workforce transition by county, as well as the money spent on lobbying and political influence by our state's biggest polluters. The transition report will identify the 5 and 10-year build targets for clean power and storage, and show that financing gaps and how to close it. Meghann will also use her seats on the boards of CalPERS and CalSTRS to move money out of fossil fuels. CalSTRS currently keeps $4 billion tied up in oil and gas investment. Meghann will fight to make sure this money is reallocated into clean energy and transit projects in California. And this is how Meghann Adams will make every public dollar work for the people, not the billionaires. She will fight every day to make sure that the workers get to decide how the wealth is spent, because we the people and we the workers of the state of California are the ones that create the wealth. She will do this by addressing the affordability crisis, cracking down on corruption, Medicare for all, expand our public services, which include housing, providing housing for every single Californian, invest in California and divest from foreign wars, and also protect our environment. And this is how Meghann Adams will be a controller that will serve the people and not the billionaires. Address the affordability crisis, crack down on corruption, expand our public services. This is why she is running to be the next state controller for California. So overall, you guys, comment down below. What do you think about Meghann Adams' candidacy for state controller? Are you willing to vote for her? And if you are willing to vote for her, get involved with her campaign. Donate your hard-earned money to help her spend that on on campaign materials such as advertisement, for instance. And also volunteer as much as you can to make sure she is in the top 2. Because if she's not in the top 2, she won't have any shot at becoming California's next controller. So if you really believe in her cause, get involved with the campaign, reach out, donate your money, and also volunteer your ass off to make sure she's in the top 2. Because when she's in the top 2, she has the potential of becoming California's next state controller. If you believe in a government that serves the people and not the billionaires, Meghann Adams is your choice to be is your choice for state controller. So overall, you guys, thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, guys, this is the Young Centrist, and I am out.